Hello, my name is Lieutenant Dan Garcia. I'm a nurse anesthesia student at the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences. Today I will be discussing the book Strategic Organizational Change, a practitioner's guide for managers and consultants. About the author, Michael A. Beitler, PhD. Dr. Beitler wrote several books, including Learning and Development Agreements with Mid-Career Professionals, Contract Learning and Organizational Learning and Development, Self-Directed Learning Readiness at General Motors Japan, and Strategic Organizational Learning. His experience ranges from being a consultant for Fortune 500 companies to teaching MBA programs at several universities, and additionally he is an internationally renowned keynote speaker and author. Beitler describes organizational change as a process. He divides this process into 6 steps: data gathering, data feedback, diagnosis, action planning, action taking and interventions, and evaluating. He calls this process the action research model. The first 2 steps involve gathering data. It is important to gather data first because you need to identify what's wrong in order to fix the problem. Next comes the diagnosis. Just like a doctor gathering information before making a diagnosis, this process is similar. Identifying the problem leads to the next step, which is to take action. The next 2 steps involve strategic planning and then the intervention. A lot of buy-in from team members is necessary in order to successfully implement the change. Beitler describes effective leadership and coalition building as key components in enacting organizational change. Lastly, it's vital to evaluate the intervention in order to determine if it was effective or not. Beitler emphasizes team building and leadership in his book. He describes the components of building an effective team that seeks to enact organizational change. Position power describes key players within the organization, such as board members or high-ranking individuals. Expertise and diversity describe seasoned veterans of the organization. These individuals, with their wisdom, will help make more informed decisions. Next, these individuals on the team must have established credibility within the organization in order for your team to be reputable. Finally, the team must have proven leadership. These individuals will help guide the team, but they must lead by example in order to be taken seriously. Matthew May, who was a senior advisor to Toyota, also describes using effective teams in order to enact change. He describes what's called a clamshell strategy. This clamshell strategy describes building a team similarly, then allowing great creative freedom in order to accomplish a task. Simply put, the supervisor provides support from above, and the team does the heavy lifting from the bottom, just like a clam, and when it opens, a pearl of innovation results. 3 leadership traits May describes are integrity, vision, and guidance. First trait describes a leader's accountability and consistency in doing the right thing. Vision means the leader is always looking forward, always looking ahead for new opportunities. Guidance describes the leader's role as a mentor to others and his or her desire to see people succeed. As previously mentioned, Dr. Beitler is a world-renowned author and consultant. His work with successful companies is well documented. He's had success working with successful companies such as Fortune 500 organizations. He earned a PhD in leadership development from the Union Institute in 1997. Dr. Beitler was a professor at UNC Greensboro and the top business school in Germany. He is praised and well respected in his community. So what is the relevance to the uniformed services? Well, when you apply it to a military setting, these seem similar to military strategic planning. The commander would need to know about his unit information to determine if it's functioning well. Additionally, if there's a policy or procedure that is unsafe, out of date, information must be gathered in order to determine why. If performance of his unit is low, he or she will need to know why. After data is gathered from troops and supervisors, diagnosing the problem is necessary before implementing a strategic plan for changing the policy or procedure. Simply put, if you don't know what's broke, how can you fix it? After implementing a policy or procedure change, the commander must evaluate its effectiveness in order to determine if the intervention was successful. Personally, as a commander, I would adapt this process as appropriate to my situation. Dr. Robert Murphy, who authored a text for the Army War College, describes another process for organizational change that encompasses some components of Beitler's plan. Strategic management and creating an environment for change. Strategic management simply asks, what do I need to change? Similarly, data must be gathered and a problem identified. Methods for implementing this plan and its evaluation are also included in this step. Creating a climate for change parallels Beitler's effective team building and leadership qualities, and similarly also talks about buy-in. It describes forming a powerful coalition, encouraging others to act, and for the leader to effectively communicate their vision. As an APN, and especially as a DNP, enacting change will be a constant in my career. There will always be a better way to do something and improve patient safety and decrease costs through process improvements. Simply willing a change is counterproductive and solves nothing. A strategic approach is necessary in order to effectively enact change. Beitler may describe eliciting buy-in and cultural changes, and nursing is certainly no exception. Initially, you'll have to get the buy-in from the older people who claim this is the way we've always done it, and so on and so forth. And I know most nurses know what I'm talking about. I will apply these concepts when seeking to improve nursing processes at the hospital or institution where I will be working at. As I mentioned, as a DNP, I'll be always working and striving to first and foremost improve patient safety, and as always, if there's a better way to do it, I would like to find it. That is the end of my presentation. These are my references. Thank you.